And now, coming to you live from the tri-state area and San Francisco, California, it's the best part of Wednesday, Waffle Box, with your hosts, Mike Fish and Kush Hayes.
Ooh, welcome to Waffle Box, the podcast where we talk about anything, everything, and nothing all at the same time. Come on, episode 59. We'll talk about the crazy, wacky world of the celebrity couple, a rather tasty world record, bullet train, and much. I am Mike Fish, and I am joined, as always, by the main man in San Fran. It's Mr. Kush. Hey, Kush, how you doing, by the man?
Well, a big fuck you to Microsoft and Zoom for the updates that has caused us to run late today. It's causing me to have trouble hearing your dialogue already, Mike. This is going to be a hard one, so I apologize in advance to the Serb squad at home. We are doing our best with what we got today. Otherwise, what's good, y'all?
I am rather sweaty today. It's
Okay.
It's real feel 100 degrees, nice 51% humidity, and no AC in the recording studio. So it's nice and
We got to
moist.
send you a little desk fan for your birthday then or something, because, yeah, you should not be sweating it up like a whore in church there, sir.
Well,
Yeah, those garden sweats, too, they're brutal from what I understand.
I mean, I could get a fan in here, but then I'm always worried that all the people are going to be hearing is
There's a fan literally running right next to me as we're talking, and if you can't hear it, surprise! That's been a thing for a few waffle boxes now for me, because despite what you think, it says it's 68, but it's still hot, very hot. Can't handle it here.
still, it could be worse. Could be Newark, New Jersey, as of right now, recording this on Tuesday, August the 6th. They've got no water pipe main break.
No
or
water.
whatever.
Oh, no.
No water. 100-degree weather. They got people going door to door handing out cases of water so people don't die.
And I thought people in Newark, California had it bad. Yuck.
I think maybe that's just a cursed name. Maybe
Yes.
let's just stop naming places Newark.
Yeah, put that on a Snapple cap. Yeah, that's a fact.
So this week, normally I'm not the kind of person to kind of get involved in celebrity couple, because I find that whole thing perplexing. Like, if such and such and such and such want to get together, I'm happy for them. I hope many years of happiness. And if they break up, oh, that's unfortunate. I hope they're doing okay. But other than that, I don't understand the craziness where people like go into, like, for example, first couple I'm bringing up, Kim Kardashian, Pete Davidson. I know we spoke about them before, but they're like, when they started dating, like, people were like, oh, it's a publicity thing and yada yada. Who cares? I don't care at the end of the day. But you'd see people like bringing up videos and photos. Oh, see if this photo was taken on this date and this. Look, their hands are so close together. Maybe they're like, wow, like, why are you caring this much about it? But as crazy as that is, one person who cares the most about this celebrity couple, our good friend Kanye West. Have you seen what he's done recently again?
No, I get all my Kanye info from Mike Fish. So yeah, break it down, buddy. What has he done now? I know that Pete and Kim have split. Very, they seem like they were happy for that brief shining minute there. And Pete Davidson, despite him being a celebrity, he's kind of like the closest thing to a normal dude there is in these conversations. It'd be like all of a sudden if Kush Hayes just started dating Dua Lipa, like, how wild would that be? Just put that out there. Also, by the way, that relationship would be doomed to break up. The question after that is, based on all of her music that I've been listening to for the last 2 years, one question has been on my mind. Is like, how many times can I rebang Dua Lipa after we break up? 5 times?
No.
6 times?
Have you not heard New Rules?
Yes.
And that's don't pick up the phone.
And I've heard the rest of her song because she breaks those new rules all the time. There's a lot of wine and pills and some cocaine involved that always leads to her riding a big dick at the end of the night. So just throwing that out there. I'm thinking I can get at least 6 more times after we break up, after the inevitable breakup.
Have you ever noticed that in that song, New Rules, for some reason, every time she leans into the chorus, it sounds like she's, and not in a sexual way, sounds like she's choking a chicken.
I've noticed
I
that
got new rules, I got them.
That's very funny. Yeah, I got a feeling she's just a very pretty package. You know, maybe she's just coordinated enough that she can walk in high heels and she can project her voice, but like she's got like a lot of producers on her album. Like I heard one song that I was really into. I was like, man, this sounds like some Gloria Estefan and the Miami Sound Machine shit. Like, I wonder if that's who produced this. And no, there was like 4 or 5 different guys that I hadn't heard of. Still a great song, but like, yeah, it's very, very pre-packaged, very polished. But we're not talking about my relationship with Dua Lipa. We're talking about Kim, Kanye, and Pete.
Yeah, so they, as you alluded to, they have broken up. Spoiler alert. After about 9 months, I think they were together. But they broke up, and one person who obviously he took the relationship badly, Mr. West. You'd have thought if anyone would be happy that they broke up, and he'd be celebrating and be in a good mood, would be Kanye West. But yesterday he took to Instagram and he's now deleted it. So at least maybe someone was like, dude, don't. He posted up like a photoshopped newspaper article announcing Pete Davidson's death. Like, dude. Like,
I'm sending this out to anyone in Kanye's camp that might be listening to this. You guys are better than this, and you need to be on top of your job, and that's to keep him off of social media. You need to lock him out of those accounts, whoever you are out there. You're supposed to
change
be his
the password.
But take better care of Kanye West, guys. This isn't okay. This is just the most irrational behavior ever.
Like, and not to get too deep into it, but the whole mental health issues. You know, I'm a man who has I'm not going to make sure my information's not, but you know, I take the pills. You know, it's not shamed. If you've got some issues up there, get some help, my man. Like, stop using that excuse. Whenever he does something crazy, everyone goes, "Oh, well, he's got mental health issues." Okay, well,
yeah,
seek help. It's not
seek help.
If you got asthma, you go to the doctors, get some medicine. If you got mental health, go to the doctors, get some medicine. Or if you don't want to take medicine, get some therapy or something. Jesus, stop.
They are not sponsors, but Kanye West, BetterHelp, BetterHealth.com. All right. By the way, you can probably afford something way better than that, but that's just a start, buddy. There's also, you know, support groups and 12-step programs and all that shit that you need to at least like examine one of them because you're.
Not to be the conspiracy theorist guy, but you know, I'm sure someone in his management are like, well, we could help him out here. However, he's thinking about releasing another album soon, so no publicity is bad publicity. Maybe. I'm not gonna say that's true or not, but it wouldn't shock me in Hollywood. Craziness. But I was going to make the segue earlier, but we still needed to mention Kanye West. But you mentioned how Dua Lipa had several producers on her tracks. And what's the one saying for that? Too many cooks in the kitchen? Well, speaking of cooks, segue, Dane Cook is...
Okay.
It's probably about a 3 out of 10. That was a 3 out of 10. That wasn't...
Dude, I hope you did your stretches before you reached for that. But you got us there, buddy. That was good.
I might pull a muscle on that one. Yeah. Dane Cook, at first, I saw the headline. Dane Cook, 50, gets engaged to his girlfriend. And I was like, oh, good for him. Nice. Settling down, finally, the crazy bastard. And then I read the rest of the headline. To his 23-year-old girlfriend, who he'd been in a relationship for 5 years, allegedly. Which, you know, do the quick maths, that means this 45-year-old man started a relationship with an 18-year-old girl. Now, maybe moralistically, that's kind of weird, but legally, this man has done no wrong. Or has he? I mean, like I say, legally at the moment, he's done nothing wrong. We've got so all allegedly and all that good stuff, so we don't get sued by anyone. But just even on not moralistically, and 45-year-old man asking an 18-year-old girl or 18-year-old woman, let's say that, hey, you want to start dating? It's kind of weird, right?
It was a little weird. I give you an adult as an adult, and I'd like to give him the benefit of the doubt that maybe he actually has a connection with this 23-year-old woman, but then you context is everything, and the history of this relationship is no bueno. If we met when she was 22, and 6 months later I couldn't help myself, and I'm like, you were the one for me. We need to get married now. I mean, all right, I guess, but yeah, he's known this girl since she was 14.
Wow, that's the crux of this story. So someone writer Tracy Egan Morrissey did a little digging, which, as I alluded to, people love to do this. They love to dig. But this one, I guess, is a little, I can understand why this person did some digging. So, it's a bit convenient that apparently they started as soon as not only when she turned 18, suddenly we started this relationship. So there was no contact before. Okay. So she took to Instagram. Again, Instagram, what are you doing? It's a crazy world out there. And she found out that in 2016, Dane Cook posted a photo from one of his game night parties, apparently, which he has, with Taylor, Kelsey Taylor, his now fiance, in it, suggesting that she was 17 years old at the time of the party. And then it goes on about how many followers he has, doesn't really care. But he says he didn't get into a romance until she was 18. But then in a lengthy Instagram story, Morrissey detailed how I dig through Cook's social media to look at photos from his game nights. So apparently this is a regular thing at his house. What kind of games is a 45-year-old having that also entertains teenagers? Weird. But I found a number of photos revealing underage girl, one said to be as young as 14, regularly attending his parties. Now, I will say, I'm not going to get into, he said they were also filled with far older men, many of whom appeared to be middle-aged. Now, at no point in the story does it say who the identity of these men were. So, for all we know, these young girls, that could be their dads. For all we know, we don't know. I'm not trying to get into trouble and what's the word? Defamatory. I'm not trying to get sued by Amber Heard or anything like that. But it's a whole weird situation. Cook frequently posted group photos of the attendees of his game night parties, evidence which Morrissey used to track who attended the parties and how old they were when they did. Morrissey noted that Taylor first appears in one of his photos with Cook on October 8th, 2016, several weeks before she turned 18.
What do you mean? A good look, DC. You gotta. He seems like a really nice dude, and then you hear the story about how his brother was supposed to be his manager and fucked him out of millions of dollars. That despite the fact that now the man is in jail, he's still not going to get any of that back. But then you hear shit like this, and you go, this isn't a good look. This is not okay. Something's very wrong about this, and we're going to be talking more about this, if not in the near future, just sometime in the future, and it's going to be kind of ugly.
I'm not one to judge if, as long as everything's legal, but I'm 36, and even I'm pretty confident it'd be tough to find an 18-year-old girl that I'm on the level with and have lots in common with, and have. So a man 45 is just weird. I mean, but yeah, I think this is definitely the tip of the iceberg. I think we're gonna find out a little bit more. And are you a lawyer in your secret world there, Kush? Are you a lawyer?
I don't know, my man. You your entire sentence dropped.
So you're not a lawyer. Let's just go with that. You're not a lawyer.
I'm definitely not a lawyer.
Okay.
Kush is not a lawyer.
if they can backtrack and historically, if they do find out that were, or maybe they can. I think can they if they. But anyway, we're just speculating at this point. But yeah, I thought
despite what we've heard through TV and movies, there seems to be no such thing as a statute of limitations anymore. If you did that shit, you did that shit, and if it was 8 days ago or 80 years later, they're gonna get you for it.
So yeah, Dane Cook. Could he be the modern day Michael Jackson? Who knows? These game night parties.
I sincerely hope this has a happy ending where they just live their life together. They have 2.3 children, white picket fence, and that's the last we hear of it.
I mean, yeah, I'm
probably not to hear more.
But if they've been together for 5 years now, you know, I think I would imagine their relationship is legit. You know, you're not going to be able to fake that, I imagine. But still, it just seems very bad look, Dane. But then again, what has he been doing recently? He hasn't done anything, so it's not like he's going to ruin his career. He hasn't had one for a while, has he?
Who knows?
Who knows? Anyway, let's move on from that jovial, light-hearted story. And let's talk about some world records that have been broken recently in this week's segment of this dumbest world record of the week.
Why?
Why? Why would I? Why? Why?
Why? Why? Why? Why? Why would you want to do that?
Why indeed? Well, I'll tell you why. This week's world record comes to us from Arizona, the big desert in America.
The biggest little desert in America.
The little desert that could. So this grocery store chain based in Arizona decided to try to break a world record to celebrate their 90th anniversary of being in business. Bashas, I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right, spelled Bashas, Bashas. A grocery store chain based in Chandler, Arizona, broke the world record for a largest donut mosaic of their logo to celebrate their 90th anniversary. Now, Kush Hayes.
That's me.
In your knowledge of donut-based world records, how many
expert on that?
How many donuts do you think that they mosaiced to break the world record?
It's probably going to be something ridiculously absurd, but I'm just going to go with 90 for the 90th anniversary.
You're a little bit under there. A little bit. I'll be honest. They assembled 14,400 donuts into the shape of their logo. Now, I'm the first to say, I hope there was a lot of people there ready to eat donuts, or if they donate them, because they better not have thrown all 14,400 donuts in the trash.
14,000?
How long did that take to bake? It doesn't say that.
Yeah.
That's something I need to know.
So you need every oven in Arizona to complete this mission. Like,
it's ridiculous.
This isn't one of those things where they just like, I'm sure they worked in shifts at their own kitchen, but they probably like worked in shifts at like 5 and 6 other kitchens too, or even more. Because there's.
I imagine most of them did go in the trash, because even unless you had 1,440 ovens going, doing like 100 at a time.
Arizona doesn't have the same homeless problem that like Los Angeles and San Francisco has currently, but you could give every one of those donuts to all the homeless people and they couldn't eat them all still. Like they were definitely, donuts ended up in the trash, I'm sorry to say.
Because I imagine by the time they finished baking the 14,400th donut, I'm sure the first ones weren't probably edible at that point.
Yeah, those first 200 or so are probably stale.
Knock someone out with it.
Door stops indeed. Things you could assault a man with. Ugh. I got hit with a crawler. Oh, that's why I'm bleeding.
That's sprinkles. Ow!
I got a sprinkle in my eye.
So Ashley Schick, a spokeswoman for the grocery store, said, "We're celebrating our 90th birthday, so go big or go home." Officials said the team assembled the mosaic at Bashar High School and set a Guinness World Record, measured the finished logo at 902 square feet, enough to break the previous record, which was set in Ukraine in 2012. So
hasn't the Ukraine dealt with enough? You got to steal their records too. You're trying to steal their territory. Now you got to steal their world records. Go fuck yourself, Chandler, Arizona.
Not only have you wasted thousands of donuts, you've now taken a little bit of extra pride away from the people of Ukraine. What a bunch of dicks.
They're going to lose the war now for sure. You took away their self-esteem. You took away their pride. What the fuck?
You're just taking away their will. Way to go, Chandler, Arizona.
You're just going to see a father and son sitting on a hillside overlooking what used to be their beautiful city landscape. And they just be like, that fucking donut record. Like war will be declared on Chandler, Arizona now because of this.
Yeah, they're just sitting there like with their gun, waiting for something to day. Just remember, this country holds the world record, the largest mosaic of donuts. Oh, Dad, have you seen this? No!
I swore an oath to your mother, young Petro.
Protect that world record.
And now I'm going to finish it. You must go be a man and raise a family and carry our name forward, but this will be the last time we ever see each other. And then he just cocks a M14 rifle, walks off into the sunset.
Jesus.
How he gets to America, that's a whole other journey. That's another podcast entirely. But stay tuned for the further adventures of Ukraine Soldier of Fortune.
Are you Ashley Schick? I've traveled a long way. Anyway.
Oh, no.
Ooh. Anyway, that's a wonderful end to that story. Okie dokie. Should we find out if I'm a rich man or not?
Please.
It's time to find out if this is the last episode of Waffle Box.
That's a horn. Why am I slapping a bass? It's a fucking horn.
Has Mike won the lottery? Have I won the lottery? Can Kush Hayes play the flute? No. That was Has Mike won the lottery? Slap in the bass, man. Do you remember that old song that I am the music man, I come from far away, what do you play? I play the guitar. Jing, jing. They teach kids how to.
Okay. No.
No.
Mm-mm.
Because that a bit one. That was a hilarious. Like, there was obviously it's basically like, you know, the old MacDonald had a farm, and on that farm, weren't going there and a move like that. So it's basically like a way to teach children different instruments and things like that. And then there is one part where I think whoever came up with it just kind of lost the will to live, and he didn't care anymore. So there's one where it's like, I am the music man, I come from far away, what can you play? I play the piano. And then he's like, okay, what does the piano sound like? And he just goes, piano. What? No, that's not. You're just saying the word over and over again.
Embarrassing childhood memories with Mike Fish.
Indeed. And then my uncle came in. Okay, let's
controversial Waffle Box.
Want to play my flute, young man? That sounds on a granddad anyway. Still to come on this week's Waffle Box episode 59.
We are silly.
We got the middle of the show quiz coming up after the break. We're going to be putting things down the trapdoor, removing them from history. Kush has got his review of Bullet Train and so much more. So stay tuned. Keep it locked to Waffle Box, and we'll be right back after the break. Hey, you. Yes, you. Was you thinking of having that beer? But my friend, it's only 10 a.m. Won't everyone judge you for drinking this early? Don't worry, we've got just the thing to help you. Your very own Waffle Box mug. And now, everyone will just think you're drinking coffee, so you can enjoy your morning beer judgment-free. Go to wafflemerch.com to get yours today. Hey, thanks for sticking with us. We appreciate you. We appreciate you. By the way, don't forget, if you are a member of the Cereal Squad, you can officially become a member of the Cereal Squad. Go to extrawaffle.com, become a member from as little as $1, and you get some bonus content and all that good stuff. And plus, you can support the show, keep the lights on, keep my face in the light. We appreciate you. We appreciate you. Go to extrawaffle.com. Let's do that. But now it is officially the middle of the show, so it's no better time than to play the middle of the show quiz.
Middle of the show quiz.
Middle of the show quiz this week. It's a Brad Pitt themed quiz, as he is the star, exciting. The main man.
Yeah, I'm having the worst time hearing you.
Of Bullet Train. So this week's quiz, we return to the chronological game. So I am going to name Brad Pitt movies, and Kush will have to tell me whether they came before or after the previous one. Nice and simple. Did you get that, Kush? I know you're having some issues.
I did hear that.
Beautiful. So
I know you don't edit this, but I think I think the more you keep moving, the more animated you are tonight. Like, that's doing something with the signal. But
I am very animated.
That's just a theory.
So I shouldn't keep headbutting.
Well, maybe after a few glasses of wine on a Friday night, but you keep doing all that you want. But for the sake of the Waffle Box,
I'm just surprised that and animated I am, since behind the scenes we are recording this. It's nearly 3 p.m. in the afternoon. Normally, this is like 10 p.m. my time. I normally had a couple of brewskis at this point. I think this might be the first Waffle Box I'm sober, which is interesting.
That's exciting.
Oh, it took me 59 episodes. All right, let's get into it. So the first movie by Brad Pitt that we're putting in order is Fight Club, that was released in 1999. 1999. So here goes. So Kush Hayes. The next movie.
I don't know why I'm putting my ear up to the microphone. It's the microphone.
Yeah.
And the Bluetooths are already in my ear, but that's the signal for I lost everything after Fight Club.
Well, I'm about to tell you your first movie.
Maybe if I lean this way.
12 Monkeys. Was that before
Fight Club?
Indeed, 1995.
Very good movie, very underrated, despite having like 2 TV series attached to it.
I didn't even know they had a TV series. Interesting. Bruce Willis is very good in that as well, but Brad Pitt steals the show, I would say. Next movie. Did this come before or after 12 Monkeys? Is the movie 7. Before or after the movie 7?
Oh, that was after 12 Monkeys. So like just barely.
That was a little bit of a tricky question. That was actually slightly before 12 Monkeys.
Oh, fascinating.
12 Monkeys was December of 1995. 7 was September of 1995.
Wow. Okay. I saw them in different order too. 12 Monkeys came out first on video. Wow.
Next one. Interview with a Vampire. Was that before or after 7?
Before.
1994. Well done, well done. Now this one's gonna be, I reckon, maybe a tricky one because I wasn't overly familiar with this movie, but this movie is called The Devil's Own. Was that before or after Interview with a Vampire? The Devil's Own.
Oh God, I don't even know what that is. I will say after.
Oh, nicely done. 1997.
Got lucky with that one. That's Harrison Ford.
Yes, it is. Yes.
Okay.
It is.
I don't know. I don't know who the vice president is, but I know old Harrison Ford movies.
And then the final one, Snatch. Was Snatch before or after The Devil's Own in 1997?
Before.
It was actually the latest of those 6 I've remembered. Snatch came out in the year 2000. But
Damn. Okay.
Still, it's 3 out of 5. You win this week's middle of the show quiz.
Sweet.
Middle of the show quiz.
Well done. Well done.
Snatch was Guy Ritchie's sophomore film, at least towards an international audiences. What I mean is the United States, and folks were excited about Snatch because Brad Pitt was doing a Cockney accent, and then people just liked saying the word snatch because it was synonymous with vagina, and that was a big joke always in the United States here. So. And for that reason, I didn't see it. I'm like, you can't tell me anything more. You can't tell me it's a better movie than it's slang for vagina. Come on, like Lock, Stock, and Two Smoking Barrels is really good. Come on,
the movie
tell me this is a good movie.
The movie has nothing to do with vaginas. Not to upset you there.
I believe that. Yeah, I believe it's a heist film or a theft. Or
isn't every Guy Ritchie movie about some sort of heist or crime?
Touche.
So yeah, Snatch is, or I like to call it, Guy Ritchie 2.
Guy Ritchie 2. Yeah.
But then he went off, but he did a bit rogue. Didn't he do the Sherlock Holmes with Robert Downey Jr.?
He did both those Sherlock movies. He also did the recent Aladdin movie with Will Smith.
Oh, did he? Oh my God, that was horrific.
I didn't hate it, man, but he got paid for it, and then he got to do little things like Wrath of Man and The Gentleman, and he just did something else that I sat out on. But
probably for the best.
Probably for the best.
All right, let's delete some stuff. Let's get rid of some shit that we don't need because this world is overcrowded. So let's.
Indeed.
I can't even think of the word. I'm trying to think of when you drop something or whatever. It's okay. It's a trapdoor segment. How can I fuck that up?
Release. Just release it.
So this week's trapdoor segment, we're speaking transportation, since it was the easiest connection I could make to Bullet Train.
Okay, cool.
So here's the kicker on this. So I'm going to give, because if I just give you 4 modes of transportation, I think it'd be pretty easy to remove one of them. However, because you'd be like, one's more common, one's quicker, blah, 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 blah. So here's the kicker. So for each of these forms of transportation, you have to be considering you are making a 2-hour journey on this form of transportation. So you're not going from A to B because some can be quicker than others and yada, yada, yada. You have to sit in this transportation for 2 hours. Which one would you least want to do it in? Understood?
I understand. 2 hours.
Okay. So would you least rather sit 2 hours in a car, on a boat, A train or an airplane?
Oh. I'm going to make this a very easy thing. A boat. And it has nothing to do with like getting seasick or anything. Like I'm actually surprisingly pretty good about that, but it's on the water. It's going to be cold. I don't want to be bundled up for an extra 2 hours. Yes, they have indoor cabins, but then I have to sit next to people, and I don't like that already. Yeah, Kush, you have to sit next to people on the airplane, on the train, and maybe even in a car as well. But the boat has me the word. Yeah, I'm not a nautical person, so
Well, why are you assuming it's cold? What if it's a nice day and you're just sitting there, the breeze running through your imaginary hair?
This boat is in San Francisco, so it is not a nice day by any means, sir. It is cold and foggy, and yes, the boat is still doing this motion, but I have like 2 and 3 layers on, so I'm getting rid of the boat.
Are you not a seaman?
I just said I'm not a nautical person, sir.
Did you get seasick often, or just you don't go into the boats very often? I guess.
Trying not to. Not a strong swimmer. Boats do go down. So
see, I don't know. See, I don't mind a boat. I remember when I went to the Philippines a few years ago, getting on the boat, traveling between islands. It was wonderful. I would much rather that than be cramped in a car for 2 hours. Surely.
At least depending on how many people are also in that car with you and you are not driving, like you can always adjust your seat back and forth. In theory, the train, I can just walk up and down the aisle or whatever and find a better spot should I feel a little too cramped. The airplane, I mean, I guess that 2 hour airplane ride is better than the 12-hour car ride because that's what that equates to. So
no, don't respect the exercise, Kush. It's 2 hours on every one of them.
Well, still, yeah, I would do a better job about picking a wider seat with just a little more leg room for old Kush here. But nope, sticking with my answer, the boat. Gotta spend that money, man. Here,
Make it rain.
Spend that money. So, but goodbye, boats. I have no use for you.
Damn, just sunk it like the Titanic. Drop it like it's hot.
Drop it like it's hot.
Oh. Still, I'm glad we're not recording 2 episodes back to back, and I'm not going to be in here for another hour and a half. Oh, spoiler alert. Let's move on. Since we saved trains, you've saved this movie. Thank God. Why is this whole movie segment would be because if you'd have killed trains, then this movie wouldn't have existed. And then what are we be talking about? Bullet plane, maybe starring Brad Pitt. I don't know. But now it's time to hear what Kush Hayes thought about this movie that he went to see the other day. It's time for Kush's movie review.
Kush's movie review.
Preach to him, Kush. Brad Pitt stars in Bullet Train. Tell him about it.
Bullet Train. It's rated R for intense violence and some mild language. It is 2 hours and 6 minutes. First complaint already is this movie is way too long. But more on that later. Directed by David Leitch. He is the guy who directed Deadpool 2. He's done a bunch of other stuff as well. We ain't getting into that. But this movie stars the aforementioned Brad Pitt, Ms. Joey King, Aaron Taylor Johnson, Brian Tyree Henry, Andrew Kogi, and Hiroyuki Sanada, amongst other people as well. This is an ensemble piece. It has actually been compared to as Diet Guy Ritchie, and I think that's I think that holds up. But this was my most anticipated movie of the summer. That wasn't going to be Top Gun 2. It's one of those like, oh, that's coming out in August. That's going to be the thing that saves August. I can't wait to see that. That's going to be wildly fun. It's going to be hella underrated, and I could not be more wrong. This actually did pretty well at the box office this weekend. It made a good chunk of money. It seems to be a crowd pleaser for everyone who has seen it. I think it'll do pretty well this weekend coming up and possibly even the next weekend forward, since there's really not much going on. The next thing that people are interested in is Idris Elba's Beast, but that's in 2 weeks. We may or may not talk about that TBD, but we're talking about Bullet Train. Brad Pitt is a hitman for hire. He has undergone something that makes him like, maybe I don't want to murder everybody. Maybe I want to try and solve this problem with nonviolence.
Use your
And
words,
that
Brad.
doesn't work out too well for him. He would like to use his words, or at least, his fists at most without still killing anybody. But this ain't the hug train. This is the bullet train. So there's a lot of guns involved. There is knives. This thing is a lot of nothing, man. For the first 90 minutes, it's fun. It's exciting. It's got very entertaining characters. There's really good action in it. It's got colors and funny sounds and little Japanese karaoke characters going. And then it goes on for another 40 fucking minutes, Mike Fish. And it ends up really kind of going nowhere. There are cameos involved for no reason. There is a big baddie involved that doesn't need to be there. This was a huge letdown for me. I was wildly disappointed. And once we crossed that 90-minute mark, I only got more annoyed with the film the longer it went on. One member of the cast I didn't announce, Bad Bunny. He's a up-and-coming hip-hop artist.
Up-and-coming professional
heard
wrestler.
a note this gentleman has dropped. I understand he did really well at the last WrestleMania, which is why when he was in the trailer for this movie, I was like, oh, that's going to be a good time. To be fair, his scene is very entertaining, and I'm looking forward to seeing more from him, especially he's in some upcoming DCEU project, if it's still going to be a thing. The Blue Beetle, I think. It is a pro wrestling-based luchador superhero in the DC universe. So I think he's going to do really well with that, or at least I'm looking forward to it, whereas maybe I shouldn't. But still, this movie was exhausting, but if you're not Kush Hayes, maybe you'll enjoy it. Because again, like, people are digging this. I'm seeing everything in the Facebook groups. Great movie, great action. Brad Pitt's amazing. Blah 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 blah. It didn't do anything for me. Again, wildly disappointing. I'm being generous by giving it 2 out of 5.
Wow, 2 out of 5. Brad,
2 out of 5.
Would you say if it was anyone other than Brad Pitt, it might be a 1? Like, I don't know, because normally if he sinks his teeth into something, he normally adds to it. Like, do you remember Burn After Reading? That garbage fire? Do you remember Burn After Reading? Can you hear me? Burn After Reading.
Burn After Reading. I saw Burn After Reading, and again, it's one of those things where I was very disappointed. It looked like a very fun indie-rific thriller. Brad Pitt, the chick from Fargo, a bunch of other names that is just escaping my. I think Clooney's in it. Like, it had a good cast. Ultimately, I did not like Burn After Reading.
No, it was a terrible movie. But I'm saying I think the only good thing about that was Brad Pitt's performance. So I was wondering, is that similar here? Does he like help it at least?
I don't know.
What a great concept.
2 out of 5.
2 out of 5. Move on.
2 out of 5. Move on.
Right, before we wrap up this week's show with the Feel Good segment, we're going to talk some pluggage. Obviously, don't forget, if you are listening to this on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and all that good stuff, good pods, make sure you hit that follow or subscribe button. Leave us a review. Leave us 5 stars. Why not? You got nothing better to do if you listen to this. 5 stars. Leave us a review. And if you are finding us on the YouTube, make sure you hit that subscribe button, hit that little ding-dongy bell.
Smash that like button.
Smash that like button. Gets us in the algorithm. And obviously tell a friend, tell a family member, tell your dogs, tell your pets to check out Waffle Box. Go to enjoywafflebox.com for all of the links that you need. You can also buy this t-shirt if you want at wafflemerch.com. Follow me at Mr. Mike Fish. Follow him at Kush_Hayes, or follow the show at Waffle Box Pod. on your socials. Appreciate it. But now, as always, we're going to wrap up this week's show with this week's Feel Good segment. Feel Good story. There we go. Of the week.
That's the coolest fucking story I've ever heard in my entire life. That's insane. Can I hear it again?
Now, this week's Feel Good story of the week comes to us from Haiti. Who'd have thunk it? So this one's a grower. So keep listening. It sounds horrible, but it gets better. Trust me. So the story, this goes back to December of 2017 when a 22-year-old Mr. Amisiol came home to visit his mum, Elise, in Haiti during a study break from Texas State University, where he's studying communication and electronic media. When I woke up on that day, I was totally unaware that my life was about to change forever, he said. Since he was a teenager, Jimmy has helped out at the orphanage next to his home, and on this trip, he'd brought back presents for the children. He was on his way to the orphanage when he came across a large group of people huddled around a trash can. Jimmy made his way to the front of the commotion, and to his disbelief, there was a 4-month-old baby inside the trash can. People were crowded around this, and I heard them arguing about what to do with this tiny baby, said Jimmy. Everyone was just staring at him. Not a single soul wanted to help. So brave Jimmy scooped the baby up and took him home to his mother, where they washed, clothed, and fed him milk before taking him for medical help. The police launched an investigation to find the boy's parents, but they were never traced. With nowhere else to turn, a judge asked Jimmy if he would like to become the legal guardian to the baby. He said, I was already behind on my university fees. My family has always struggled to make ends meet. He explained, but I didn't have a dad growing up, and this poor child was facing a lifetime of instability and uncertainty. Something inside was telling me that this had happened for a reason, so I took a leap of faith. Ever since those fateful days, Jimmy has been splitting his time between the United States and Haiti, where the boy is being cared for by his mother. He decided to name his charge Emilio. Now Jimmy has applied to formally adopt Emilio, who has just started school at age 5. What a horrible start to the story, but what a beautiful ending. This young man rescues this baby from the garbage, and it's now his dad, and he's going to school. Bless you, Mr. Amisiol, and I apologize if I'm butchering your name, but you're a legend. You're a bigger man than I don't think at 22 years old. I have no idea. I doubt I would have done that, but
not all heroes wear capes. Good for you, Jimmy.
Jimmy. All right. Well, that wraps up this week's nice and early. Look at this. This is keeping Kush.
Might have to get ice cream after this.
We're less than an hour. I think Kush is going to give us a nice score in the movie review on this one. Not too long.
Bad sound connection will do that, unfortunately.
Yeah. Well, hopefully next week's episode will be a little bit better. But I hope you enjoyed the show. Like I say, go to enjoywafflebox.com to get all the links of how you can support the show. We appreciate you. And we'll be back next week for the big 60. What? 60th episode coming next week. So thank you all. I've been Mike Fish. He's been Kush Hayes. Until next week, take care of yourselves and each other.
That's all, folks.